First, for many, their only exposure into the reality of the lives of people with disabilities is through the media. Now a look into the way the depiction of people with disabilities has changed over time in Hollywood and in the media in general. Eagle Eye View's Anthony Alvarez has our story.
Past of correctly depicting people, events, and almost anything that you can think of, and people with disabilities are no exception. Sure, we have seen movies and television shows with people with disabilities. How accurate are they exactly? It is hard to say, but at least now, people with disabilities are being depicted instead of being ignored.
How has the depiction of the people with disabilities changed in, say, television and the media in general? Well, now they're visible. That's one of the biggest differences. In the past, they were invisible. I mean, there were exceptions to the rule. Like a story about a hero like Helen Keller or something like that. But the idea that, and there were occasionally characters in dramatic television, like the character of Michael Ironsides, who's I think like a lawyer or something like that, or a detective, who happened to be in a wheelchair. But now you regularly get disabled actors on television.
People with disabilities have not only made up ground in film and television, but in the music industry as well. People like Ray Charles and Stevie Wonder have made record-breaking songs and albums, even while both having to deal with being blind. Christopher Reeve is one of the main people that brought attention to the portrayal of people with disabilities. Yes, Christopher Reeve wasn't disabled at the time he had a big Hollywood acting career, but after he suffered the accident that made him paralyzed from the neck down, he brought a more positive attention to the media about how people with disabilities were portrayed. He was a part of countless organizations that helped improve the image of people with disabilities in movies and television shows. He even made an appearance on the television show Smallville as Dr. Swan, and he was portrayed as he was, a normal person with a disability. Michael J. Fox is another actor who has fought for people with disabilities. Fox has written a book and come out on television shows to try and make sure Hollywood correctly portrays and researches disabilities.
Media tends to not fully research the aspects that cause disability. And I mean, yeah, if somebody breaks their back, that's understandable. If somebody is blinded by looking in the sun for 2 hours, whoops, that now we understand why. For me, I kind of see, I have MS, so that seems to be the disability du jour of the last 2 years. It's like every time, if you watch House, you watch some other show, suddenly it's somebody's got MS. That's the underlying cause, but they don't really understand what causes it. So, to some extent, I think they need to really do more research to understand it.
In the past 20 years, the portrayal of people with disabilities has improved because of more careful research by the people in the film industry. In fact, movie portrayals of disabled people are more spot on, thanks in part to the acceptance of disabilities in general. Now we are seeing many more films that make being disabled as normal as being able to walk. As an example, the movie Murderball that portrays people in wheelchairs as they are, normal people having fun and playing with just as much contact as any able-bodied sport.
Murderball is a fun piece of work. It's great. It shows a group of disabled people in a very let me try to find the right word for that. These people are not limited by their disabilities. They find ways to participate in sports that are as aggressive and hard-hitting as any sport you could find.
Movies like Murderball are a great sign of things to come and truly shows that media in general has accepted disabilities. From Hollywood, I'm Anthony Alvarez for Eagle Eye View's Accessibility.
Most critics agree the film that changed the portrayal of people with disabilities was the 1986 drama Children of a Lesser God, which won a Best Actress Oscar for Marlee Matlin. It was one of the first films with a deaf lead character played by a deaf actress.